Hey guys, Kaihatsuroku here with another review. This time I'll be reviewing the deluxe ride book Hondana and 01 AI Kaihatsuroku 1 the ride book from Kamen Saber. These are a pair of bookshelves that can hold up to 3 Wonder Ride books each, as well as a Legend Rider Wonder Ride book. So, let's get started. First up, we'll look at the 01 AI Kaihatsuroku Wonder Ride book, whose title translates to 01 AI Development Record. So this is the first Legend Wonder Ride book I'll be taking a look at, and also the last for reasons I'll explain later. So for the Legend Wonder Ride books, instead of having a base color of black, instead they use a gold base. And for the 01 book, obviously it uses neon yellow for the key color. So here we have the cover with the title, as well as all of 01's forms, from Rising Hopper all the way to 02. We got the title written in the Wonder language as well. And this is an animal type book, so we have the mark in the middle. Then we have the two sounds it makes on its own. First, the title announcement. Then we open up to the story page for the synopsis. And so for both those, you could hear sounds from the Rising Hopper Progress key as well as the 01 driver. And so for the story page, we have 01 symbol as well as a nice purple background. And we have some things written in the Wonder language aside from the title. So here we have Tobia ga rise, Rising Hopper, the transformation phrase for his Rising Hopper form. And then it says, Omae o tomorareru no wa tada hitori ore da, or something along those lines, which is 01's catchphrase. Though I'm not exactly sure if that's quite what it's saying because the characters don't quite match up, but some of them are also blocked by the symbol here. Next, we can use the 01 book with the Seikenso driver. And there we have the transformation sound, and this gets me to why this will be the only Legend Rider book I'm going to be reviewing. And that's because, unfortunately, the transformation sounds in the Sword Driver are quite generic. Essentially, as you hear, it's just Legend Hissatsu, and really nothing about it specifies 01 except for saying the name. And really the only special stuff you get is if you use 2 or 3 Legend Rider books, but I don't plan on getting any more than just this. I wanted to get this just to show you guys an example of what a Legend Rider book is and why I won't be getting any more of them. So here we have the Henshin page, which basically shows the format for how Legend Rider books will go. So on the left half we have 01 Rising Hopper. You have the name up top. And then on the other side, we can see his sword weapons. So, we have listed here the attached caliber and the Progress Hopper blade. You also have the attack sounds you can make. First, the push attack. The Hissatsu Dokuha. The Hissatsu Giri. and the Shutoku Isen. Next, we'll look at the ride book Hondana, Hondana Assembly being the Japanese word for bookshelf, starting by assembling one of them. So, as you can see here, it comes with 6 pieces, and it's pretty simple to assemble. We'll start off with the base piece, as well as the sides. Now for this, you want to make sure that this is the left and this is the right, and have the indent facing forward. So you just want to slide it in here, and push it back. Do the same on the other side, which lock them into place. Take the back piece with the hooks facing down, slide into these grooves, and press down. And take the first half of the top, have the hooks facing backwards, place in here, and push into place. Then take the top of it, with the slope facing the back, and plug it in on top. And here we have a ride book Hondana. As you can see, it has a nice and simple design, with some nice detailing to it. On either side it has the word Hondana, written in the Wonder language. Now there are 2 ways that you can insert Wonder ride books into here. The first is the basic way, where you put in a book facing the spine, with the spine facing outwards. Just like so. And as you can hear, putting the book in actually made it activate the title announcement. That's because for each of the slots, which are also labeled 1, 2, and 3, it has this little spring-loaded nub that, as you insert the book, it hits the button on the bottom. You also see that on the bottom there is this little indentation that's about the same size as the width of the book. So we can take it, put it here, and then you can use this to display a single Wonder ride book at a time. But of course, this can be used for up to 3. So I brought in the books for our 3 main riders. You can put them in one by one. And so now you can see the shelf fully filled with all 3 books, and with their spines facing outwards you can see the individual colors of the books. Now as I said, as I showed in the beginning as well, this does come with 2 of the bookshelves. So here's another one that I filled up with Storm Eagle, Peter Fantasista, and Needle Hedgehog. Now there are 2 ways to actually connect the bookshelves together. So you can see that for one side it has these hooks, as well as slots for them to go into on the other side. So what we can do is have them linked together via the sides. Just putting them together like this. Or you can stack them height-wise using the 4 holes here, as well as the 4 indents up here. Additionally, I actually bought the other version of the set, which just comes with the bookshelves. So I've got those, with most of our other Wonder ride books that we've looked at so far. And we can take this in and place it in there. To completely fill them, you can stack these, and then link them up. Making sure that everything is properly aligned. And then we have a set of 4 shelves. Now of course you could also stack them all in a row like this. Or if you're feeling particularly daring, you would stack them one on top of the other. Thankfully, they're well balanced, so you shouldn't have to worry too much about them falling over. As you can see, it stretches all the way up there, and it's still balanced. And there we go. So, when they announced that the next series' gimmick would be these little books, it was pretty obvious that the storage container that they'd make for it would be bookshelves, and I think that they executed them quite well. Being able to store 3 at a time is quite nice, and it is also quite generous for them to include 2 of them so that, just with one set, you can store up to 6 Wonder Ride books. Not to mention that this is similar to the Ride Watch Dizers from GO, with which you can buy additional sets to expand them and connect them together, to keep it all together and create a proper bookshelf. Now, you could also find your own kind of small bookshelves to store them, but this is a way that is technically accurate to the show. As for the 01 book, as I said, I'm not exactly happy with how they're doing the Legend Rider books this year, and so for me personally, I plan to skip them, as there have been other times where I've decided to skip the Legend Rider books, especially because they don't seem to be anything that's going to appear in the show. They're just doing them or make them for the sake of making them. So, like I said, that there are 2 ways to buy the set. One is the full set that includes the 01 book, and then the other one is just buying the shelves on their own, which is also the cheaper method. But whichever way you choose to buy this is a good way to store your Wonder Ride books. Next time I'll be reviewing the Ankokuken Kurayami and Jaken Caliber Driver. So, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, let me know your thoughts down in the comments, and if you're new and would like to see more, please subscribe and hit the bell icon. And for now, this is KRX50, Riding off.